Welcome to the Sociology department at Godalming College. This little video will take you through what the course is like, who your teachers are, and what you can expect with studying with us. So this is us. This is me talking on the left here, Hannah Roberts. I'm head of Sociology at Godalming, and then alongside me there are my colleagues Sarah, Amy and Josie. We're all really experienced sociology teachers who have done degrees in history, sociology, criminology and international relations. So let's take you through first what is sociology, because you might not know and you might not have studied it at school. And some people think that having not studied it before might be a problem, but absolutely not. Most of our students would never have done it before, so we'll take you through step by step to how it works and what the main arguments are within it. So basically, sociology is the study of structures of society and the nature of human societies. A little bit later on, I'll take you through how it's different to psychology. But really what we're looking at is how society works as a whole and how people operate within it. So at different levels, so whether that's in the family and a lower, the small unit, or in wider society with things like politics and the education system, and with processes and issues such as crime and poverty. And some people think that it might be common sense, that you can use just your everyday knowledge of society to understand it and to be able to do well in sociology. And to some degree that's true. But the thing about sociology is we seek to question everything and we use evidence to back up what we're arguing and what we're stating. It seeks to challenge and question our assumptions. It might try and change society for the better. But the key thing that makes sociology quite different to other subjects is it's based on a set of theoretical ideas and views which might not actually always agree with each other. Because as we all have different opinions about our lives, our attitudes, so do sociologists. They don't all agree with how society actually works and how all the different aspects interact with each other. In terms of what you're going to study, in the first year, we start with family, education and research methods. So in the family and education, you'll get a good grounding in theory. In the family, we'll ask questions like, are gender roles fair? Do men and women share things equally in the home, or are women still experiencing more pressures? We're going to look at what's happened to childhood over time. So has childhood improved or got worse as an experience? And has it actually extended? So are we seeing childhood extending into people's 20s, or is actually childhood something that's been shortened because of the rise of technology? We'll also within the family explore trends like reasons for the increase in lone parent families, divorce, those sorts of aspects. Within the education topic, we're again going to explore theory, which will look at different explanations of the education system. So some people think that the education system reinforces inequality. Other people think that it's fair and it treats everybody the same. We'll also look at the history of our education system. So this is where politics comes into sociology. And sociology is quite an interdisciplinary topic. So it will use stuff that you may already know from history. If you're going to study politics, it will cross in. If you're studying media, this will cross in. So it's a really nice hub subject that pulls from all sorts of different places. The other topic we'll look at in education is differences in achievement. So looking at class, identities, gender and ethnicity, and looking at arguments as to why some groups do better or worse in the education system. So this is the real thing with sociology. It's a debate-based subject. So in terms of how it is assessed, it's through mainly essays and short question answers. And within those essays, what we want to do is form a debate, form an argument to come up with strong conclusions which are evidence-based for why something's happening. So for example, you could be asked a question like, are external factors the most significant reason for why working class students do not do so well in the education system? So obviously within this, research methods is a key underpinning in that we need to be able to research and thoroughly investigate why things are happening. So you'll do another topic on research methods, which will look at numerical sources like statistics and questionnaires, but then also more qualitative, so some more descriptive sources like observation and interviews. In your second year, we go further into theory and look at that in more detail, but we also cover crime and deviance. So looking at theories for crime, reasons for it, and differences across social groups. And then our other topic is stratification, which looks at inequalities across a range of identities and really pulls together a lot of the other topics that we'll be covering. For this subject, you really need a good grounding in humanities subject like RE or geography, history. History has a lot of crossover with us in terms of the way that we weigh up evidence. You will also need a grade 4 in English language and literature, because a lot of the skills that we're going to be using in terms of writing essays will need you to have that strong basis from your GCSEs. So just to give you a really quick intro to theory. So theoretical views are really important within sociology. They form ways about thinking about the social world, and they're within every single topic that we do. Makes us quite different to other subjects because within, say, history, for example, you may not look at theory until much later in, say, a university course. With politics, you will have a bit of crossover here in your second year, but with us, theory comes into every topic that we do. So our 4 main theories, and there are others, so this is just a bit of a flavour, are functionalism. So functionalists think that society works as a big picture. It all works together, it interacts together, it shapes us, and it works for the whole. So it should have a benefit for everybody, and that it seemed to be quite fair. And they're quite traditional as an approach. So in the family, for example, they think the nuclear family is best, whereas they see diversity as being problematic. In countering, though, functionalism quite strongly are both feminists and Marxists. These are very critical theories. They're what we call conflict theories. And they believe that society is actually based on division. It doesn't treat everybody the same. So for feminists, they would argue divisions are based on gender, with women experiencing patriarchy, so male domination. And this is another thing within sociology. You'll come across a lot of new concepts and new ideas which you'll need to be able to explain, like something like patriarchy, for example. Marxists, on the other hand, think that there are divisions in society based on economic issues. So they would argue that the rich, they call the bourgeoisie, have more control over the poor, they call the proletariat. A very different type of theory is interactionism, which, unlike the other 3, is not a structural theory. It's a micro theory, an action theory. So with this theory, they're looking at the fact that society is built by the interactions of individuals and small groups. Society isn't out there acting upon us, we are actively creating it. So I would really encourage you to have a look at theory before you take the course, just to get a bit of an idea about it, because it will be something that we'll be using a lot. We always get asked how it's different to psychology. If you've heard of the nature-nurture debate, sociology fits much more on the nurture side. We tend to focus much more on society as a whole. We look at social patterns and structures of behaviour and institutions. So we look at how the education system works, how families work, political systems, for example. Whereas psychology is much more interested in behaviour as a result of the human mind and the body, looking at the behaviour of individuals, whereas we're more likely to look at larger trends within society, but they're basically the opposite side of the same coin. So what next then? We get really good results within sociology. So if you join us, you'll have interactive lessons, we have a lot of discussion, there's a lot of debate, you'll be using a range of resources, textbooks, videos, our workbooks, which frame out the whole of our course. So in terms of leading into doing the A level, do some more research about the subject, keep up to date with current affairs, read the news, watch the news, and start thinking sociologically. Be critical. Think about, why is it happening? What are the reasons? Discuss it around the dinner table. We find a lot of students really, when they start sociology, they start to challenge and question what's gone on in their own lives. And then in terms of what sociology can lead you into, all sorts of things. It gives you a great grounding with stuff like research, but lots of people go into teaching, nursing, social work, counselling. We've also had students go into marketing, theatre studies. A lot of drama students really enjoy sociology. And it gives you basically a fantastic set of skills to think critically, challenge the world, and come up with some really good conclusions as to why things happen. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in September.